Welcome to the Clean Biz Network podcast, the only podcast that guides independent and franchise cleaning business owners on how to start and grow seven-figure companies. Now for your host, who has successfully built, automated, and sold his own cleaning company, Mr. AJ Simmons.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Clean Biz Network podcast. I am your host, AJ Simmons, and this is episode number 1. In this episode, we're going to interview Mr. William Wade on how he was able to grow his cleaning company to $240,000 in revenue in just 12 months, okay? This is going to be a great one. It's actually a part 2 of a part 1 series I did on my YouTube channel, which is AJ Simmons, so make sure you check that one out as well. The audio is a little bit choppy, but we're going to manage through. Let's jump right into it.
So again, I want to welcome y'all. We got William Wade back on for part 2 of his interview, just as I promised. We're going to jump right into the questions. And Mr. Wade, I'm going to jump right back into where we left off a little bit on the last interview. You mentioned that you got a hold of Think and Grow Rich while you were in prison. And I wanted you to kind of take us through what led you to even want that book. You know what I mean? Like, how did you even come across it? What made you even want that book?
So life is I knew life to start this life, I knew life wasn't how I wanted it to be. So going down the road to prison, I knew I needed answers. I knew going down, I was sitting in my mind, I was real quiet and I was thinking. I was nervous, of course, going to a place I never went, but I was also thinking, how can I better myself? How can I make this the best opportunity that I can? So when I got there, I started reading the Bible, which most people pick up trying to find who they are. And they have classes in prison. They have HVAC, they have carpentry. And back in the day, you used to could go to these classes and get certified. But I think one of the presidents stopped that to help, to stop inmates coming out and doing better. So they took the certifications away. So when I went to go to HVAC, I was asking, I'm like, well, I didn't want to waste my time. So as I was studying HVAC, I'm like, how can I use what I'm learning here on the streets? And pretty much they were saying that you can learn it, but you have to go out there in apprenticeship. You have to go out there and basically do what you learned out in the real world. So I was like, okay, this is all I have, so let me try this. So I started reading HVAC, and in prison you get to meeting all different types of people. And it was a guy by the name of Clyde. He used to be a car salesman. And it was funny that he was trying to find something different, and he met up with another guy, and that was reading real estate books. He had a bunch of real estate books. Mm-hmm. And so as I started delving into the HVAC, Clyde kept telling me, man, you can go out here and, you could sell yourself. So I started looking into real estate. And I got my auntie to get me a real estate book named Investing in Real Estate with No Money Down by a guy I think his name Brandon Turner. Mm-hmm. And so as I started reading that book, in that book, he said that one of the books that made a big impact on him was a book that wasn't even about real estate. It was Think and Grow Rich by Robert Kiyosaki. So I immediately got on the phone and told my aunt, this is what the next book I want, because he said this changed his life. And so I started reading that. So in that situation, I also had to build up myself mentally, because I didn't think Black people like me could do real estate. Like I know it sounds funny now because we have the internet and everything is so publicized and you can see things happening. But growing up, I didn't have that. Right. So I didn't even know I could do real estate. I didn't know what else to do. Like I didn't have no men to show me another way, because they wasn't, I didn't have a man that close. So I just did what I knew. Right. And this guy, it's crazy that this guy in prison, a white guy, built me up to tell me that I could do it. Like, I remember, man, and I didn't want to say this on the first interview, but I remember going in his room so lost, crying. Like, I'm like, man, my people don't do this. My people don't do this. And he was like, William, he said, they called me Wade. He said, Wade, you can do anything that you want to do. And I'm like, man, yeah, but I don't know nobody who's doing this. And so I started reading the books, and I started I got a felony, and I'm like, I can't do real estate. But, so I started finding out that you don't have to have a real estate license to be in real estate investing. Then I started lining stuff up. And that's how I ended up reading Rich Dad Poor Dad.
That's crazy, man. And it's funny how we always, like I talked about that before, like we always disqualify ourselves, or we'll start to before we look into it, and then you take action and actually look into it, and you'll start to realize, some of them qualifications that you thought were required weren't even required. And that's a prime example of somebody like you actually taking action and overcoming those self-limiting beliefs and going out there and seeing what's out there for you, man. So that's what's up, man. So I wanted to know, too, how did you go from, primarily thinking real estate to going into a cleaning company? How did you go that? Like, how did you choose that route?
Hold up, CBN family. We had to take a break and pay some bills. So let me shout out our sponsors real quick. I want to shout out the Clean Biz Network. Make sure you go to www.cleanbiznetwork.com and join us in the Clean Biz Network. You can also buy leads from us for your cleaning company, as well as check out some of our other products that are available for you to help grow your cleaning company. We also want to shout out Thomas Ave Entertainment, one of the best up-and-coming media companies. As a matter of fact, they help us put this podcast together just for you. So make sure you go check those out.
I'm glad you answered the question, because coming out, I was like reading the books. A lot of people that don't read books, they talk down on books, and they said they're not going to give you the whole game, or they just trying to make money. And so I kept reading books. I kept reading. And inside those books, you start getting principles. And so I started looking at the principles of the people who was doing it, and I started identifying the principles that I had from the streets. And I started connecting the dots. But what I thought, what came to mind was, how am I going to get out of prison, find the right people, have the money to invest in real estate? Even though these books said no credit, no money, I still had to live. So as I continued to learn real estate, that was my drive. I started learning business as well, because Kiyosaki teaches you that real estate is a business. So I started looking into the business aspect, and I knew my uncle, like I said in the last interview, my uncle had done Jan Pro before, and I was like, how am I going to get income when I came home? Like, I needed income right when I got home. I have kids. I have a family I want to take care of. I have life. So waiting on real estate to pop off wasn't it wasn't in my cards like at that time. And I think a lot of times people who want to go somewhere, they have goals, they don't look and analyze where they are today. Because if you analyze where you are today in the situation that you're in, you start tailoring where you want to go better. So I started reading about commercial cleaning, and I started understanding how much money I needed to live off of. So in there, I started asking people, how much do you expect, rent and lights and stuff? And I came up with a number of $2,000. So I said, okay. I went to look at the FDDs, the disclosure documents on the commercial cleaning.
Right.
And I seen a package that said, hey, we're going to guarantee you $2,000 a month. So I set my goal from where I was in prison to get in that package. And I really set it higher than that package because I knew that's what I needed. So I just started grinding. I started grinding, putting money up, putting money to the side. I didn't get the new shoes. I had dreads at the time. I didn't want to spend the money to get the dreads. I had a store running. I went down there and ate the state food. People like, Wade, you got all this stuff on your shelf. Why are you not eating? And I had a vision, So I started eating what they was feeding. Even though I didn't like it, I just had to swallow it. And some nights I was hungry, bro. Some nights I was super hungry, and then had stuff on my shelf and wouldn't even grab it just because I knew when I got out, I needed this amount of money so I can get into this business so I can therefore take my next step to my life changing, and I never had to come back to prison.
That's real. And that's discipline, man. And that made me think, too, because we talked, I made the title of the initial video in the headline I put up there that you did $240,000 in your first year. But I didn't really go into how did you actually do it. So I got to ask you, how did you do that?
I did it with, first off, I did it with God. I'm not going to let him out because he's the one allowed me to become the man that I am today. But I also knew how to talk to people. I changed the way I talked. I changed the way I walked. I changed the way I thought. And when I went in there to talk to the master franchise, I talked to him from a position of power because I knew that he needed me to make his vision complete, just like I needed him. So as I talked to him and I would let him know, I'm willing to do what I need. I have a team already ready because, again, Kiyosaki teaches you money in business and investments is a team sport. So I went in there and I would let him know I had a team. Now, did I have the team? Yeah, I had the team because God was going to put the team together for me when I needed it.
Right.
I stepped out on faith. So to the regular services that I had did not amount to $240,000 a year. I got the special services. So when he wanted specials like deep cleans or strip and wax or carpet clean, hey, I'm your guy because I realized that I could make thousands of dollars in a couple of hours doing a deep clean. And then I have people I bring in, I pay $10, $12 an hour for a special, and boom, let's do it. So I was mainly focused on getting specials my first year. Even though he was giving me accounts because he had to fill this quota, I was dead on getting the specials. You get a special? I was calling them. Day to day, I'd call and talk to him. Like, I thought we were best friends. I knew about the dog. I knew about his wife. I knew about his son. I knew what he wanted to do with his future. He knew what I wanted to do with my future. He knew about my children. It was to the point that, hey, I knew his birthday.
Right.
And that's serious because I knew he had the key to get me to where I wanted to get to. Right. And my grandmama used to say, you have to kiss ass until you can kick it. And not saying I was kissing ass, I was just, being who I was supposed to be to get to where I needed to get to.
Right.
Genuinely.
Right. Build their relationship. And there's so many lessons in just what you just said. I think people need to make sure they're taking that away with the relationship building and then also doing the things that other people won't do. And then most importantly, taking action, like not saying no to every little job just because you don't want to get dirty in the special service. You really took advantage of those special services. So that's some huge stuff that I want to make sure people are taking away from that. And it's crazy because that's basically about $250,000 in 1 year. So if you continue to duplicate that over the next 4 to 5 years, you will be at $1 million in revenue. And I wanted to know, are you aiming for that? Are you aiming for $1 million in 4 to 5 years, or what are your goals?
I'm not really aiming to take it to $1 million in 4 or 5 years, not through the franchise, honestly.
Okay.
I do plan on making $1 million within, my goal is having $1 million in 10 years. I said that I'm about to turn 40 this year, and I gave myself to 50 to have, make $1 million. And of course, I've grossed $240,000 already. But what happened was, I didn't realize, like I said, I grossed that, but then as I started realizing that all the specials that I took, so what I'm grossing now is not, it's up there. It's well over 6 figures, but it's not the way I thought where it was last year. Right. So now I have to realize I went back and re-strategized, and now I'm building my business with getting regular services. Also, I am doing a couple of specials too, but I'm building my regular service up now. So in 4 years, if I wanted to, I could pass it on to my son, and he could, we could definitely be doing $1 million. We definitely could. But I don't know if that's what I want to aim for because, like I said, my main focus is getting this real estate. I love multifamily units, and I see your wife doing it. She wants to do it, so that's what I mainly studied, business and real estate. And it's funny that through our last interview, I've had people inbox me or message me through Messenger and heard the interview. They asked me questions, and I've had a couple of people that was in my area knowing I want to do real estate and offer me to come inside and invest with them. So, you don't understand how many doors you have opened up. I have been on, let's not get to that, but I've been on lunches with people to explain how business goes and certain things they take me out to just to pick my brain. And these are people that I've been knowing or people that just been following me that I didn't know. So I just want to plug you in for that. Even though you're interviewing me, I still want you to know that, man, continue to do what you're doing, man. You're definitely opening doors for people.
I appreciate that, man. I really do. And definitely got to throw it back to you, man. Definitely got to throw it back to you because Mr. Wishing ain't doing enough. I love that phrase. I love that motto, and I love that hustle, man. And you about to take this thing to a whole nother level with your YouTube channel, but we're going to tell them about that later. But I want to also ask you this, though. Why do you think so many people haven't hit $1 million in revenue yet with their cleaning company or cleaning franchise before now, or have they? Like, do you know any millionaire cleaning business owners, or like, what do you think about that?
I do not know a millionaire cleaning business owner, except for the people that I mingle with in your group. I do know a couple of them through the group,
Right.
Which is a good group, by the way, CBN. I love it. But this is I think this question is really good because I've seen it already. Like, people get comfortable. They get comfortable. And to be honest with you, for the past 6 months, I've been comfortable.
Right.
I got to making a lot of money, and I got to just chilling. You know, I didn't have that hunger. You know, what I've noticed about our people, we know how to survive. And when we're in survival mode, that's what we built for. We know how to survive. But then when you get to that comfortable thing, we allow ourselves to get a little too comfortable for a little too long. And that's why I think a lot of people don't reach that million, because they allow themselves to get comfortable and they don't continue to push. And that's what I've seen from the people around me that are already doing cleaning franchise. They get a couple of clients, and they feel that, hey, I don't want to do such and such. I don't want to have to be out all night long, or I don't want to have to manage so many people. I've heard of people that tell me they don't want to have to pay taxes.
Right.
Like, they don't want to make more money because they don't want to have to pay more taxes. And I'm thinking, well, the more money you make, if you hire a nice accountant, you actually pay less taxes than if you was working a job.
Right.
But, you know, that's something I teach later on. We'll get into that later.
Absolutely. And that made me think, too, of a lesson that I learned, like, over time, because, like you said, you grew real fast in that first year. Then you had to pump the brakes a little bit, re-strategize on how you wanted to grow going forward. And that's kind of what I did. You know what I mean? I grew very, very fast my first year. Then I had to stop and say, okay, you know what? I'm working. I'm still in the field a little bit. Let's restructure a little bit, get a system going. And it's just crazy how all of the parallels connect. But speaking of lessons learned, I want to know, what was your biggest lesson learned so far?
One of my biggest lessons learned so far is people say grow slow. And a lot of times I didn't believe that. I wanted to just, man, give me everything. Give me everything. Whatever you got, give it to me. I'm going to make it work. Let's say I was working 18 hours some days where I couldn't stand up. And it paid off. I do. But I do think that slow growth is a good lesson to learn, because as you grow slower, you can keep it steady. You know, slow and steady wins the race, as we know about the turtle and the hare. As you're going fast, he got tired. And what he did was he thought he had it, and he sat down. And then the slow and steady turtle, he went on and he passed and he won. So one of the biggest lessons I've learned is a lesson that I was taught as a child, to go slow and steady. And it's so hard for us to do that. Right. It's so hard for us to do that because, as you say, we have the shiny object syndrome. Hey, I need this. I got to see this. I want to get this. I want to do this with her. I want to do this with, my family. And, right. That's one of my lessons.
And it's crazy because, like, I love that lesson that you shared with us, because, like I've said a few times on the video, on the channel, 10 years is still fast. Some people probably got turned off earlier when you said, you had a millionaire vision by the time within 10 years. And that's excellent. That's still fast, but people don't realize that, that's something so simple. It's like, okay, so you think 10 years is too long to build $1 million business, but you don't think 40 years is too long to work, a job for somebody.
A regular job.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right. But people don't get that live. Like, it's okay. Build that thing. Like, stop looking. That's why I always stop looking to the left and looking to the right, and looking at all of these people on Instagram that's flashing these numbers in front of you, then it's probably not even real. You don't know what they're doing. So I love that lesson that you shared with us, man. So speaking of lesson, it's another good lesson, too, I wanted to know from you. How do you feel about hiring family?
That's a deep one there, brother. That's a deep one there because you want the people that's closest to you to take the journey with you. And if they don't have the vision, they're not going to put in the time. And so I feel that it's okay to hire families, but just know that you have to be harder on your family than you do regular people. Because another one of my mistakes was I grew so fast, and I just wanted a person with a pulse to work a business. I mean, it worked out. I'm still living, I'm still going. But a lot of that, I was lax on my family. I laid back because I'm thinking, okay, I grew up with these people. These people know I just came out of prison. These people see that, okay, he got a different mindset. So when I say I'm giving my all, I'm thinking they're giving their all. But I was crazy to believe they'll give their all to my vision when they have their own visions. And so it was time for clean. They wouldn't show up. They'll switch cleaning dates. They wouldn't go in, and it's like, you got to do the toilets and you got to clean up under the sink. Sometimes that was a little too much because you got to think of we cleaning. So I can only I start out with 10. You know what I'm saying? 10, and after 3-4 months, I give a raise.
Right.
But starting off, $10 an hour, and you got to clean toilets. Some people just, they like cleaning toilets. But to be honest with you, I'm talking about netting now. I've netted over $170,000 in 1 year.
Right.
Cleaning toilets.
Right.
So it's like, okay, but having a family is cool if you have the right family members. Because I have family members now that's willing to help. But just know that you don't have to be on them harder than you are with regular employees, like just people that you don't know.
Absolutely. Speaking of people that you don't know, so for the other entrepreneurs out there, what would you recommend that people look for when hiring? Like, what do you look for when you hire someone?
Trial and error taught me this. I look for a person that has reliable transportation and a cell phone. That sounds familiar. Well, I do look for that. But I also look for, I like people that, I'm not biased about people that have a family, but I do know that people with families, they usually want to take care of their family if they're good people. Also, I look for a person, like this is the second job for most people, so I look for people that have decent work history on their first job. Like if you're working pretty decent on your first job and you telling me you need a little income, I tell you, okay, fine. I see if I can help you. Another thing that I do is when I go into my hiring process, I go in and I ask him how much are they looking to make. Like I hire from a monetary standpoint.
Right.
I hire from business. I say if I ask somebody how much you want to work, and they say yeah I want to work, I say how much you trying to make extra a month? They say maybe I'm just looking for an extra $300-$400 a month. Then I tailor my accounts to try to fit them into that bracket that they want. Because it makes no sense for me to hire you and you're not getting the benefit that you need from your second job. So that'll leave you unhappy anyway.
That's a huge one. Actually, that's two huge ones you got in there. The first one was the part when you said about the family. You like to kind of look for people who might have some family, because people with family, and when we say family, we mean like maybe a husband of a family of, with a wife and some kids, or maybe just somebody like that that's family oriented. And I like that lesson because that's actually something that I used. In particular, I like couples. And I always like couples for whatever reason. And I know that the only problem with the couples is it could backfire, because if they get in a huge argument, they break up. One might not show up to work while the other one does or doesn't. So that could go down. But I think that's still a huge lesson with the family. And then also, you said hiring from a financial standpoint. You ask them straight up, how much more are you trying to make? And I think that's very realistic and very that's definitely a good lesson that everybody could apply, because the most people ain't getting into this, to make a career out of it. They're getting into this because they need some extra money. So fine, how much more you need? So that's an excellent piece of advice from you, man. So I also want to ask you this on hiring, and we're going to probably leave that alone. But I wanted to ask you, when you, how soon do you think somebody should look to hire? I always try to hire from day one, but some people don't think that that's really feasible or possible for their particular situation. So I wanted to get your take on it. How soon do you think somebody should hire?
Hold up, CBN family. We have to take a break and pay some bills. So let me shout out our sponsors real quick. I want to shout out the Clean Biz Network. Make sure you go to www.cleanbiznetwork.com and join us in the Clean Biz Network. You can also buy leads from us for your cleaning company, as well as check out some of our other products that are available for you to help grow your cleaning company. We also want to shout out Thomas Ave Entertainment, one of the best up-and-coming media companies. As a matter of fact, they help us put this podcast together just for you. So make sure you go check those out.
I'm going to agree with what you said and immediately, But I also, when I counsel people or when I talk to people, because I've talked to numerous of people at this point, I also want to find out where are they. I said earlier in the interview that people have goals, but they don't look to see where you are. When you look in your car in the GPS system, if you want to go to New York, you want to go to Florida, you want to go anywhere, they're going to ask you, where are you right now currently? So to answer that question, when should a person hire? It depends on where they are currently. Because if you need all the money that's coming in from your business, I can't tell you to hire right now, but I will tell you to look to hire as soon as possible. Try to get, because what I found out through working, you make more money not working physically in your business because you can therefore grow. But at the beginning stages, you don't know how to grow. You don't know what you need to do. You don't know what person to delegate what stuff to. So I can understand why some people will say, I'm going to wait to hire. And for me, when I knew, like I said, Kiyosaki said business and investment is a team sport. I walked in it with my team. I went in, when I first signed the contract, I have a felon. I took a partner that does not have a felon, because if I got a business that I can't go in because I'm a felon, she could have got us in. So I started with her off the bat because it was a strategic partner. Then I got my first account. I have a brother. I said, hey, bro, I'm just getting out. Will you help me? He came and helped me. Some nights he would only make $5. Because, like I said, I pay $10 an hour. He come in late. He only makes he come in 30 minutes. And I just, pay him $5. Apparently, eventually that started to have a problem between us, because nobody want to come out and go to work for $5. Right. That's not even gas money. But I am thankful that he was there in the beginning stages because he understood what I was trying to do. So everybody that played a part in my growth played an enormous part. No matter how small or how big, they all played a part. So looking to hire for me, it was right off the bat. It was before I even signed the paper. I was looking for a partner to jump in because that's what I needed.
Excellent, man. And so now I got to finish off. We about to bring them home now, because you've been putting out some gems in this whole interview, but we about to bring them home with this last one. I want to ask you this. What would you say to the solopreneur who's been cleaning let's say they cleaning 7 buildings alone just trying to get by, right? They hear us talking about 6 figures and all these big numbers, but they can't seem to get past about $5,000 a month in revenue, and they think we just anomalies. Like, they think, yeah, that was them, but they think it's some catch to us, and they don't feel like it's realistic for them. So what would you say to that person, like, as far as helping their financial situation? How can they go from cleaning 7 buildings, and making $5,000 a month? How can they go from that to these numbers that we talking about?
I got one guy in particular that's in my mind right now, and I put him on with the franchise when I came home, and I think he's in a similar situation. But I would tell a person like this is to study, and be patient. Yes, it happens faster for some people, but if you know someone can do it, you can also do it. It's not too far out of reach. Some areas are a little different than others. Sometimes you come into a franchise, into a business, and you come in at the right time, and timing is key. But to continue to study and learn marketing, learn how to market your business. What I did not do is I didn't get my marketing material because I went through a franchise, so I didn't have to. But I would tell a person, even if you're through a franchise, get your marketing material. Start marketing early. Start to get yourself out there. Start to get over the kinks of being told no, or going out there finding your own investments, own accounts. I would say that because it's very doable. I know but you can walk into an account and it'll raise you $3,000 that quick. So 3 times 12, I think that's 36, if I'm not mistaken. That's 36,000, 3,600. What is it, 36,000 right there for the year.
Right.
Just by walking in one account. Yeah. So if you continue to grind like that, say for instance you only pull 3 or 4 accounts a year, but they'd be nice accounts. Yeah, you can get there. You can definitely get there. And as long as and if you're not there yet, manage your money too. Like, don't look at other franchisees or people that's making money and spending money. You got to manage that, because that money right there, you can invest in, I say, your lead generation services, which, by the way, I really do enjoy. I went out on my first lead yesterday, and it was okay. I liked it. The guy told me that I could come back and see him next week. So I would be going back for a second interview with him. But yeah, so you can definitely do things like that to grow your business, man. I just want to say one more thing before I get to this last thing. I want to say that if you're not where you want to be right now, you have nobody but yourself to choose to make it, to get there. Like, it's only you. Can nobody else keep you from where you want to go? They can help you get there, but if your mind is not ready to get there, if you're not ready mentally, no matter when you get there, you're not going to sustain. It won't be for you. Because I've been there, I've made a lot of money, like I said, in a year, and a lot of the lessons that I learned, I didn't know. So again, I lost a couple of accounts, but I'm getting back. I'm getting back.
Absolutely, man. That's you keep it real, man. You always keep it 100, man. I appreciate you coming on this call and giving us a second interview and sharing some more knowledge with us, man. And you didn't have to do that, so I really do appreciate you, man. And I want you to share one last thing. Share with us how we can continue to follow you in your journey, man. I heard you got this YouTube channel on, and we need to get some people over there. I want to see some people following you. I want to follow you. You know what I mean? And we need to hear them lessons from your perspective. So where can we find you at?
Well, I just started a YouTube channel, William Wade. It's on YouTube right now. And I'm wishing they ain't doing enough on Instagram. William Wade again on Facebook. And I'm just starting this part right here, my next part of the journey, because I do have a lot of people that saying they want to hear what I have to share, and I have a lot of gems to give out. So that's how you can find me, man. William Wade on YouTube. And if there are other William Wades down there, I have to figure out how to get myself above them. But my face is on there, so if you know me, then you'll see me.
Yeah, they'll know. When they see that content, they'll know. Them other William Wade ain't got that content, right? All right, man. I appreciate you coming up here, man. And again, man, I just thank you. And we look forward to following you, and I'll talk to you soon. All
right, man. I appreciate everything you're doing, man. CBN, Lead Generation Service, Mastermind class, man. I haven't got the Mastermind class yet, brother, but I'm on my way. Yeah. But, hey, I appreciate you, man. I can't appreciate you enough, man. I can't tell you thank you enough. I'm just being honest with you.
Absolutely, man. Mr. Wishing ain't doing enough.
You're now one step closer to running the cleaning company that you've always envisioned. Thank you for listening. And until next time, keep building.